sharper than an ice pick on you rappers' necks, and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see, most of them scared to witness. Go and close your eyes, there's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences, 23 and 1 out. Praying that that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Going on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the swerve in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the swerve in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Dasani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. It can't, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the swerve in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the swerve in my whole life. My whole life.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said so. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember Yahanna's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Different check the hey Akim, just so you all know, all right? Just so you all know, you supposed to be a trooper, right? You aspiring to be a trooper? What does the announcement say? What does the announcement say? You don't know? Do you know? Okay, boy, just grab the announcement sheet and read the last part about the troopers for me, please.
If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, or scarf.
All right, all black. You understand? You know how to take it off now. That shit is good for your downtime. If you're aspiring to be in here, do what the tradition is. Right? You understand? All black is all black. Come in here dry, Ag. Come in here dry. Absolutely dry and dead. Give me some other adjectives brothers in the world use. Busted, dusty. Come in here all black. Not a Nike swoosh, not a pattern, nothing. All black. Not even that see the hoodie how it have the drawstring and it's white? Get rid of that. Put it inside, take it out, buy one that's not now, of course, it doesn't even matter now. Forget it. Buy one that's all black. Be committed to whatever you're going to be committed to, or don't. Really, this is half-assed. This is not black. This is blackish, like the Jewish. You understand? Right? I don't want to start off like that, but we have to start off like that. Just because if it just keeps going, soon troopers going to be in here with our brothers who want to be in troopers. You know, right now, I don't even know if you want to be a trooper. It says any brother wanting to be a trooper is to wear all black. not some black with a print, right? And if you're a trooper, what are you wearing? All black. You understand? It's all black. Like, it's only for a while. Earn the right to wear the colors, man. Earn come in here and troop hard and earn the right to wear colors. See all these other brothers in here? They earn the right to wear colors. They earn the right to wear something else, wear a print, or you could continue wearing all black. It don't matter. But if you're coming in here and you are a trooper, it's all black. You want to be a trooper, it's all black, nothing else. All right? No sweat, ain't no sweat. It's the WAP. You ain't got to change it to her. Huh? You could stay as is for the class. I'm just letting you know. But Quash, what we looking at?
We don't have any questions just yet, sir.
No sweat. Anybody have questions in the room?
Sir, I have a question. What is the school's official stance on like clinical therapy?
Clinical therapy.
Like actually going to see a therapist.
Okay, you might be crazy. You might be a fucking nutcase. That's what the stance is. No, I'm joking. Okay, there's nothing wrong with with having a therapist, right? There's nothing wrong with it. You definitely can. A lot of Israel needs therapy. All right, a lot of Israel is in that position where we need, you need somebody to talk to, right? You need somebody to work out all the little quirky things that done happen to you growing up or in your adulthood or just from, your childhood. You need it. So the Israel School of UPK is definitely not against it, if that's what you're asking. Is it that what you're asking? Yeah, the UPK is definitely not against it. But now this is the other thing. UPK, the school has a whole counseling department with licensed therapists. You going in there and sitting down with Dr. Hebrew, right? Same thing like how you would go talk to a therapist, right? The UPK has a full out counseling department where you're gonna get counsel. So like you're gonna get counsel, and added to the counsel, you may be what's it called? Referred. You may be referred for any sort of therapy. You understand? Any sort of life therapy or stuff that happened to you before, maybe stuff that's going on with you now. It depends, right? You could definitely get with the counseling department if you want. Any brother or sister can, right? You definitely can do it and get more counseling. I believe there's a fee associated with that as well, but all that could be worked out. But in general, if you need to see a therapist, there's nothing. The UPK is definitely not against it at all. You know what I mean? And counseling is definitely encouraged, which is what a therapist would be doing. You know what I mean? A therapist would be listening to you and giving you counsel based on what you're saying. You get the point? So it's, it's definitely not frowned upon or anything like that. All right. Salaki, go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Sir. With Ecclesiastes 38:12 being precept, same thing with the physician, the medical physician. This right here.
Go ahead.
Sir. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 38, verse 12. Then give place to the physician, for the Lord hath created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him.
You definitely can use that. Let me give you probably one more suited for this, Salakia. One that's more suited for this one here. 1 second. Read that one again.
Look at Ecclesiastes chapter 38, verse 12. Then give place to the physician, for the Lord hath created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him.
Right. That one I would more use to let somebody know it's okay to go see a doctor. You know what I mean? Like sometimes Israel has phobias and hang-ups, subscribing to old wives' tales about doctors, and will not go see a doctor, will not ever go in there and see a doctor or hear a doctor or nothing. I would more use that scripture for that one, right? That's what you say, give way to the physician. Like me, you know what I mean? Let the physician handle that. You get the point? For what Bakwash asking, hold on. Give me Proverbs 11 and 14 and Proverbs 24 and 6.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14. Where no counsel is, the people fall.
Right, that's what you want first for sure. Excuse me. Where no counsel is, the people fall. Right? Where there's no counsel, where there's nobody who is fixing your mental state, the people fall. And that's how all of us are, as a people. The collective is really, we are damn near like a undiagnosed. Galawan have a thing, something he be saying was like a undiagnosed psychiatric ward. If you really think about Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people, that's us every day. We just functional in our dysfunction. Somehow we able to function, but we are absolutely dysfunctional. We are absolutely just, like we need therapy. We need help. We need a ton of it. Look at Kanye West. You understand? He need a ton of help. You get the point? Okay. So where there's no counsel, the people fall. Go ahead. Whoever was reading.
Okay. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Meaning what? Go ahead.
Meaning getting the experience and the knowledge from the men above you that could lead you in the right direction because they already been there, so they could save you from the pain of you making a bad decision.
In a nutshell, anybody else want to try? Right, in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. Meaning, you might have a problem with your car, or you may want to go buy a car. There's brothers who fix cars and know cars and could tell you what car never ever to buy. You get the point? And save you a whole ton of shit. You get the point? You might be a young brother taking on a rib. There's brothers who have been married 2-3 decades. Might want to talk to them. First child. There's brothers who have children your age. Might want to talk to them. There's safety in the multitude of counselors. You get the point? That's what that particular one is saying there. Right? What's the other one I call for? And that's also good for sisters too. You're a young sister, you come in, you for sure want to pattern after the sisters who you see that you've been seeing in here like a brick in the wall. They've been here for the longest and doing everything for the longest. You might want to pattern yourself after that because now that's an example that you can follow. That's somebody you could reach out to and ask questions on how to do certain things. Like really, Like how Esau has his Google for different for answers for different things and research and stuff like that. Before the whole advent of computers and the internet, it would always be somebody in the neighborhood who somebody would send you to go talk to about this. You know what I mean? This is your problem. Oh yeah, check Mr. So and so, check Sister so and so. She knows what's going on with that. It will always be something like that. It's just is a little foreign to us now because of the society we live in. But that's been really our life from forever. You get the point? Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 24, verse 6. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety.
Read it again from the top.
For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war.
Right. For by wise counsel you'll be able to make your war. Meaning you're gonna get the instruction that you're gonna need to go to war. You understand? You're gonna get that instruction you're gonna need to make war, to how to fight in the war. That's something missing. Again, Kanye West. He does not know how to go to war. He just going off, and with it, that's all he knows how to do. That's the only thing he could really bring himself to do. He in the world. He still have cares of the world. And sooner or later, they're going to make him apologize, or they're going to break him. You understand? They're going to break him and do whatever, because what he's saying and doing, that's not really his calling to do. You get the point? He's inspired in this moment to do it, but that's not really his calling to do. You get the point? He doesn't know how to go to war. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know really how to go to war. He doesn't have any counsel. He himself admitted that he doesn't have no friends. Ain't nobody talking to him no more. He all by himself. You get the point? And that's how it is with us as a people in the world, where you really live in your life by yourself. And that in turn makes you extra aggressive, extra scared, extra selfish. And if you think about how people in the world are, how they act, it's just like that. And that's because they're by themselves. They have friends, they have a family, they have slavery. Everything that you would think this is somebody who is thriving and successful, and they're not. They're not, because they're alone and they don't have no counsel. They don't know what the hell to do. You get the point? They don't know what the hell to do. That's why you have, what's the dude who died, who everybody used to listen to? High Value Man. I forget his guy's name. Kevin Samuels. Oh, why I think everybody was listening to him. Just think how much people get advice from him. And if he wasn't there, they would be lost. You get the point? That's how our people really are, and we just don't have it. Right? So with counsel, you'll be able to make war. Multitude of counsel. So getting it is good. The therapy is really just counseling. Like a counselor, you have a guidance counselor, you have a school counselor, a behavioral counselor. It's really somebody who is able to deal with adult dysfunction, or sometimes children too. But it's somebody who's giving you counsel for your issues, for whatever problems you have, and it's totally supported by the Bible. ISUPK is definitely not against it, and you can definitely get counsel. It's not something to shy away from. Just know that the school also has a counseling department, right? That you could get your therapy right here in the school, in the UPK, if you so desire. Nobody's going to force you to do it. It's only if you desire. All right. Anything else?
So I had a question about another question. It was
Salaki, let me get one more for you as well, Bukwa. Give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 6. Six and 6.
Oh, God. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 6, verse 6. Be in peace with many, nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000.
Right. What does that mean?
It means you should be peaceable with a bunch of people, but as far as getting counsel, you should be the one giving counsel to many, not receiving counsel.
Barack, you could take this light off. Oh, not the light, the fan. It's one. Yeah. That's to what? Go ahead,
Slot means you should.
You can't put it anywhere else. What is this for?
This is TikTok live.
Okay.
It's like if I could, it's not in the camera view right now.
It's fine right there. Okay. Kind of distracting. It's fine. Leave it. Yeah, because it's gonna flip it around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's put it the other way. That way I don't have to see it moving. Slaki, go ahead.
Slaki, that you should only take counsel from one person. Like that person.
Be at peace with many.
Like all your family and everybody, you should be at peace with all of them, but you don't need to tell all of them your business. You should only have one counselor.
Right. So that's why you got to break down that part first. When you once again scripture break the scripture down. Be in peace with many. You know you're in the truth. Your whole spirit is different. You're able to now navigate through the world and be at tables that normally you wouldn't be able to sit at, because before you didn't know how to move, how to act. You didn't have the Lord's wisdom or grace with you. So you're going to meet a whole ton of people. You're going to be able to talk more with people who was already in your life. Even though you are at peace with many, that doesn't mean that you should now sit with everybody and let everybody know your issues and your problems that's going on, which is what happens with people in the world. People in the world put their trust in their friends or their crew, right? Women have a bad issue with that, and they sitting and talking and eating with a bunch of monsters who hate them. You get the point? And they start telling everybody their problems, and they don't get no solutions, and the shit becomes worse. So although you're at peace with many, nevertheless, you have one counselor out of 1,000. Meaning out of everybody, there's one person who you go to for most everything, which would be this situation here. So all these scriptures, there's a whole ton of scriptures you could go to for that, where it's good. Yeah, shit. That guy, Samuel was a counselor to Saul, right? That's who Saul would get the counsel of the Lord from. You get the point? In the Maccabees, the father, he said Judas would be the captain, but the older brother, I think his name was Simon. What was the older brother's name? Nobody knows? Ain't nobody putting on their pocket for the check, though. All right, I'll look it up. That's not a problem.
I believe it's like it's Yahanna called TITHES. They listen in First Maccabees chapter 2. After they listen to his 5 sons.
Okay, where's the part where he says Judas would be a captain, but that other brother, he will be like a counselor or older brother to direct you all? Maybe I'm paraphrasing it wrong. Maybe I have it wrong. But he said Judas would be your captain. Right? This is where's the part where he died? When Mattathias died.
Second Maccabees chapter 8.
Nah. I think he died before that.
As far as the it's in the low right now, but as far as the Judas being your captain, I'm not sure if I was going to question, just read it, but it's in First Maccabees 2:66.
Let me hear that.
As for Judas Maccabees, he have been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people.
And where he talk about the other brother? No, it's right there, 65.
Okay. First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 65. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
Right. So this brother here, Judas would be the one who going out and physically getting busy with these heathens. He would be the one that's shedding blood. But before that time comes, Simon is going to be the one giving counsel. You understand? Like he's going to be like a father to everybody. He's going to be the one giving counsel. And you should listen to his counsel always. So Israel has always been, we always have that built in our community, in our society. Somebody who you could go and get counsel from. And that from there is where you're going to get that therapy. You get the point?
So I was gonna say I was looking it up trying to find out if Simon was his brother, but it says Simon Iscariot was his father.
No, you could read this. Simon here was one of Judas's sons, Mattathias' sons, but Mattathias, his father's name was also Simeon, right? But this Simon here, when you read the beginning of chapter 2, he had 5 sons: Johanan, Simon called Thassi, Judas called Maccabeus. But in the beginning of that, it tells you Mattathias is the son of Simeon. Mattathias' father's name is Simeon. One of his sons' name is Simon. You understand? So you could use that for sure, Bakwash, and for anybody else. All right.
So like I said,
go ahead.
I'm not sure the significance in it. I meant to ask maybe a week or so ago. But this instance right here that we just read, what did you just read at the top of chapter 2 in First Maccabees? And there's a couple of the instances where it says this person's name was called this. What's the
read it from where it is he talking about?
There was chapter 2 verse 1. Where it says in chapter 2 verse 1, it says, in those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jored from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Jonan called Cadus, Simon called Thassi, Judas who was called Maccabees, Eleazar called Maccabeus, Eleazar called Abram, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphis. So is that like a first name, last name type of thing? Or like is there any significance in the whole called part?
Yeah, it definitely is. Anybody want to take a shot at it? Right. These names, I believe here are what they would be called or the Greek names, like how you have Judas or Elias. So here you have Judah, who was this Judas here is written in Greek. His name is really Judah or Yahanna, but he was called Maccabeus, which is almost like a surname, but it's that Greek name. It's not his name. It is his name, but it's what he's known as. You get the point? That you find that all throughout the Bible too. I say with Elias just now. When they made a reference in the New Testament to Jonah, they said the book of Jonas.
Sorry, is it sort of akin to like I have a cousin. His name is John, but his family calls him Augie. Like we know him as Augie, but
okay, I don't think it's like that because I can't say it's not like that either. Okay, this here is more so. echo here. It's not a family name like a surname because they all have separate names. But this is more. I'll give a good example. Hispanic tribes, right? They have a Hispanic name, and then they have a name they use at the slave. That's perfect. You get the point? It might be a little hard for us because our names is so much of the slave master, but just think somebody who's coming from a place. Akon. You see the interview where they ask him his name, and he had like 10 names, and Akon is one of the names. It's some similar to that, where he's known as this, or he was called this, but this is his name. You get the point? It's functioning within another society. Go ahead.
Like an alias, or also known as?
Kinda, but it's official, not like a Pookie. You get the point? But it's an official name. You get the point? Now you go, come on. Yeah, okay, these plugs here kind of finicky. You might want to plug it in over here. Hand it to the Shaman. He'll hook it up for you. Or you could use this the back side of this black one here. You could try that. You can use the back side of this black one right here. It might work. So it's like that, right? That was it? Any question?
There's no question online.
No, sir.
I have another question. I'm just looking for the scripture right fast.
No, sir. Go ahead. Bookwash.
So is there as far as prophecies go, is there I understand like the big prophecies, like it says, we're gonna go into World War III and it's gonna be against Gog and Magog and whatnot. I understand those specific ones, but like I ain't gonna say like lesser ones, but like personable ones. Like I remember when you were saying Commander General Yahanna was down here and he was prophesying how when y'all was at camp at a certain spot, he prophesied that this spot is gonna go away. It's not gonna be like it was.
Hell yeah.
Like it is, like it was back then, but the way it is now. And he prophesied that damn near 10 years ago, and it is what he says it is. But,
exactly what he said was gonna happen.
But what I'm saying is like that, I'm not sure if that's in the Bible specifically for this city, but like the bigger prophecies, that's in the Bible. I can understand that. How does it work for like a quote unquote smaller scale, like when Commander General Yahanna said that this place is not going to be like this anymore?
Okay, how does what work?
Like how is he able to predict that? Say that this is going to be like this or it's not going to be like this, and years later it is exactly the way he said it.
Okay, it could happen. I don't want to say one of two ways, but there's a couple ways it could happen. One, the Lord actually showed it to him, right? The Lord actually showed it to him, and he went and he prophesied. Another way it could happen is that he can say something, and because of who he is, the Lord will honor it. You understand? Like that's as powerful as it could be. He'll say something, and because he said it, the Lord gonna make this shit happen. You get the point? So it's one or two ways is the Lord actually showed this to him, and it could come in different ways. From a vision, angel actually appear in the room and tell him exactly what the hell gonna happen, or wisdom from learning from men over him. He can look at something and see this is how this shit gonna end up, while everybody marching and picketing and trying to stop development. But that's what they thought. The specific one you're talking about is Lower 8th Street. Right, Lower 8th Street back then when there was an 8 and H. I mean, everybody thought it was gonna just stay like that. You know what I mean? They had, I forget the devil name. Some devil took them to court for speaking out there, and that's how we have the ability to use amplified device in DC. It was from there. But after that, he said, "Y'all done on the street. This street is over. You see what's going on." And this devil was living blocks from the camp. But he, filed whatever noise complaint ordinance and, went to court. But the court ruled in our favor to use amplified device. So, and from that, he started breaking it down what's going to happen. And Lower 8th Street right now is a different place. It's a totally different place. Go ahead,
Slack, I don't know if this will be like the same, but I can't think of the prophet's name, but it started with an N. With the whole when he had to go back to the city. He tried to leave, and the Lord made him go back to the city. And he had to warn the people that the Lord was about to destroy the city. And because he said something to them, the Lord spared everybody in the city because they changed themselves around because he said something.
No, that's not wouldn't be an example of it, because the Lord told him to go tell them repent. He didn't tell, like Jonah went there to tell them. The Lord told him, go tell them to change or else I'm going to kill everybody. The Lord told him to go say that. And he went and he said it. And they changed. They listened. You get the point? So that's different. This here is just who he is. Commander Yahanna is the man the Lord deals with. And he might, listen, he gonna be out there prophesying something, and some devil, some heathen might run afoul. And he might say something that I'll go bury a loved one tonight. And the Lord might honor that because it came from his mouth. You understand? That's what I'm talking about. So now to somebody who onlooking, somebody who in the world, somebody who is carnal, what does that equate to somebody who's watching that? Oh, he said you're going to bury some loved one, and then by Monday you in a funeral. What does that equate to somebody who's just watching? They'll think he prophesied it. You understand? They'll think he saw it in the future when he could just be trying to blaze on you. And because of who he is, the Lord honors what comes from his mouth. You understand? That's power to have. You get the point? It's similar to Christ raising the dead. Did Christ know somebody was going to die and he had to raise the dead? No, but because of who he is, he knows that the Lord will honor what comes out of his mouth. You understand? That's how a prophecy can work. In addition to, the Lord actually shows it to you. He show it clear as day. And it goes from there. You understand? Go ahead.
I had a question on this general breakdown, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 33. When I first read it, it sounded like, my question is, I wonder, is these scriptures right here, like, is it something that our oppressor could have taken and read and it's turned it the other way? Because it almost sounds like slavery in the Bible, as far as the whole yoke and the iron and the beating and all of the extra stuff.
Okay.
Right here. And I was looking for it like a year or so ago, but I couldn't find the scripture to ask, and I found it again. So it's Ecclesiastes 33, verse 25 through 31. Verse 25. If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him
Ecclesiastes 33, right?
Ecclesiastes chapter 33, starting at verse 25 down to 31. Verse 25. If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. A yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant. Send him to labor, that he not be idle. For idleness teacheth much evil. Set him to work as it fit for him. If he be not obedient, put on more heavy fetters. Be not excessive toward any, and without discretion do nothing. If thou have a servant, let him be unto thee as thyself, because thou hast bought him with a price. If thou have a servant, treat him as a brother, for thou hast need of him, as of thine own soul. If thou entreat him evil, and he run from thee, which way wilt thou go to seek him? So I just wanted a general breakdown of all that, because I first read it, just at that time of my youth, I kind of looked at it. I was like, it kind of seemed like our oppressive, and they nature and then they evil, like read some of these things. But of course, with the whole yoke and the iron and the amount of labor we did picking in the field and the cotton, but they didn't treat us as a brother.
Okay, this is not talking about the oppressor though.
Okay.
This is absolutely not talking about the oppressor. All right.
I guess how we should. Could it be talking about like how we should be with servants?
Yes. But who are the servants?
Our oppressor.
No. All right. I'm trying to figure out where to start here. Hold on. Start at 19.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 19. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another. Let it repent thee.
Lest
it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
Also, too, Akim, you try to get any habit again in your books, all right? You know what I mean? You'll make sure, come to class with your book bag with the stuff in it. You could go ahead and read it with that if you're Tawab, but I don't want you all to start and not be able to navigate these books. All right, with them phones and stuff. All right. Go ahead.
That was verse 19. You want me to read that again?
Well, what is it saying? Anybody?
To give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend power over thee. Is that like as far as like the whole like they not over you, they don't control you, type of thing?
A little bit more than that. They're your wife, they're your son. How are you giving them power over you?
Would it be them swaying you to do what they want you to do instead of doing what the Lord wants you to do?
But how are you giving them power? That's what they're going to try to do. But how are you giving them power over you?
By not combating it, or not by putting your foot on the ground?
In a nutshell, by you giving in to what they want you to do.
Right.
You get the point? By you giving into it, you giving them power over you. Same thing with who does it say? A friend?
A friend and a brother.
Right? A friend and a brother. Once again, they're using very close examples because why? Why are they using such close examples?
Because most of the time, the closest people to you will be the ones that turn you away.
How are they able to do that?
Influence, just repetitive.
I can see it because you let them.
Why are you letting them?
They know you the best.
Okay, they didn't know you best, but there's something else though. Something else that's a little bit more carnal.
Because you view them as family versus.
And because you view them as family, what?
Trying to make a simple term. You're more apt to give in.
You're right. Your heart's soft for those type of people.
Right.
Your wife, your child, your brother, some friend who he ain't just a friend. He is, it's like your brother. Your heart gonna bleed for those type of people. Even if they're wrong, your heart gonna bleed for them. You get the point? So he's letting you know, don't give them power over you. Don't let them have power over you. It's going to be bad for you in that day because everybody going to pull you in separate directions. All this here is advice with dealing with Israel in close relation, right? Skip down to, keep reading.
And give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
What are we talking about? Come on.
That brother, he's loving his people so much he's giving away all of his possessions, and then he's regretting the fact that he gave them away, trying to please them.
Basically. Get the point? It's basically what he's saying is like, now, as you going through, Don't just, yeah. Take this, take that. You smiling because you know how it goes. That's how it go with Israel. When you're ready for it back, what? Now you have to entreat them for your own shit back. It's just wisdom dealing with it. You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 20. As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee,
Mhm.
give not thyself over to any.
As long as you live and you have breath in your lungs, don't give yourself over to any. What does that mean?
Don't love any person on this planet.
Nope. God damn. Don't love. Shit. This is Salaki. God damn that. Salaki for guy, boy. You took me somewhere else there. Bakwash, go ahead.
Don't just be so willing to help anybody out.
Don't be weak.
You're right. But you had to break it down.
Don't be weak.
There's a better word for it, but you're right. That there is straight up, That's it. Anybody else?
I might be completely off from that, but I was going to say, was this give not thyself over to any? Was it like to just anybody?
Leave that for after class, sorry. Go ahead.
The part where it say, so like, give not thyself over to any, is it like to just anybody that like, don't give this like this.
For now, keep it like that to anybody. Just for the sake of making the answer simple.
Is it saying don't be gullible?
Yes. Don't be a sucker. Don't be simple out here. Because why? As you giving yourself over to somebody, what are they doing? Yes. Which is what your rib, your son, your brother, and your friend gonna do to you. You could be a brother and not be a sucker. It's simple. That's so simple. You could be brotherly as could be and not be a chump. That's all. It takes us you're gonna have by nature, you're not normally like that. Because of course we all come from that Christian background, which teaches you to, do good deeds and be good. And sometimes being good is nigga, get out. Go outside. Stay out there. Don't call this number back. I'm doing you a favor. Doing you a good favor. You get the point? Sometimes it's like that. You can't be a sucker. You can't be weak. You can't be weak. Sometimes the tough thing is saying la. I can't do that, brother. Not today. Check me back next week, all right? That's that. But you don't understand. Okay, so explain it to me again. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but Shalom. Sometimes you need that shit. That's what this is saying. You get the point? All right. Go ahead.
Verse 21. For better is it that thy children should seek to thee than that thou shouldst stand to their courtesy.
Right? You'll know what that's talking about. What's that talking about?
It's better for the children to look up to you, to give them something than you appeasing to them.
Yes, a little more though. Shapat?
Two different ways to say, like, don't celebrate Christmas for the kids, the birthdays, this, that, and the third, just because of the kids, and compromise your own self. Where it's like, if your baby mother's keeping the child away from you, and it's all that the hassle, let the child come seek you instead of you giving it to her way you should see the child.
Yeah. In other words, because of the rib, the son, the brother, the friend, All this is, you could apply that to the children seeking you. You could let her seek you, let the son seek you, let the friend seek you. Meaning, it's better that you stand on what you stand on and have to separate from them. Not you separating, but you making the stand results in them being separated from you, no problem. It's better they have to seek you out than you stand to their courtesy. Stand to their courtesy is like an old expression. Like, you ever watch them TV shows and a woman walk in the room and all the men stand up and take their hat off and shit? That's standing to her courtesy. Standing to be courteous. So instead of standing in that situation to be courteous to some rib who's taking advantage of you, some son who's taking advantage of you, some friend or some brother, it's better to not do that and have them come seek you later. Some come seek you with an apology later and say, "Hey man, Salaki, man, listen, I didn't know nothing. I didn't, It's better that happens than you stand to their courtesy, than you make yourself uncomfortable for them. It's better that way. You get the point?
Okay.
All right, so where we at now?
That was the end of verse 21.
Keep reading. 22. Wait, hold on. Where's your question?
From verse 25 through 31. It's just a general breakdown of 25 through 31.
Please.
Also, Warren Bonloya said, on that day of the Lord, they will definitely be seeking you out. They're not going to be seeking out the drug dealers and prostitutes.
Shit, listen, they might come seek you right after the drug dealer and the prostitute. They might need to get good and blasted afterwards. You know what I mean? You have to shut up. Hey, so lucky. I'm in class now. You want to call me back? No sweat up. You have to shut up. Yeah. Hold on. Right here is where we need to be to. 24.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 33, verse 24. Fodder, a wand, and burdens are for the ass, and bread, correction, and work for a servant. If thou, verse 25, if thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty.
All right. So let's break that down now.
Verse 24, 25.
24. We'll start with 24.
Fodder, a wand, and burdens are for the ass, and bread, correction, and work for a servant.
Where's fodder?
Fodder is stuff like sort of like kindling, or like when you're packing a cannon, you put that stuff behind the cannon to make it go forward.
So for ass, what is fodder? So like you're going
from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Fodder, a mixed food of cattle, generally from several kinds of grain sewn together. For Book of Job, chapter 6, verse 5.
For this is food. This is donkey food or horse food, like hay, right? So you have food for the ass. A wand. What does the wand do? The whip or a stick to keep the donkey in line. Tap him when he going off. Correct him when he going, doing something. And what's the other thing?
Fodder, a wand, and burdens.
And burdens. Meaning he gonna tie up to this thing and work. Right? That's for the animal. Go ahead.
And bread, correction, and work for a servant.
And for a servant, somebody who you have in your employ, who's working with you, under you. Bread, you have to feed that person. The scripture said, don't muzzle the ox that treaded the field or the winepress, something like that. You have to feed that person. You have to correct them. That's just like you'd correct the ass with the wand. You have to correct that person. And what's that? Work. Work is the burden that ass would be doing. The servant, he needs work. He's your servant. He needs work to do. He can't not have work to do. It's important. That's you'll have a horrible servant if he doesn't have duties. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 25. If thou set thy servant to labor,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt find rest.
That's I gotta explain that shit. Right? If it is that you have a servant and he's not working or she's not working, who's working? You'll never be able to rest. But who's resting? Servant, he got all the rest. She got all the rest. You know, they could go climb Mount Everest, do what the hell they want. You know what I mean? Plank for 24 hours. You know what I mean? Do all kind of dumb shit. You doing all the work. So if you want to have some rest, you're going to have to give that servant some work. You're going to have to get it. All right, go ahead.
But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty.
If you let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. What does that mean?
If he has nothing to do, he's going to want to go out and do something else.
He gonna just go off. He gonna just go off. Just think like going off. Like imagine you're driving your car and you let go the steering. After a while, let me see if I'm a prophet. Where we gonna end up? In the ditch. It's goddamn. You're gonna end up in the ditch. Somehow the car is gonna do what? It's gonna take liberty. Wherever the hell that tire, hit a little stone or a bump, it's going to take liberty and do what the fuck it want to do. Whatever. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 26. A yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant.
All right. So what are we talking about here?
A harsh correction.
A yoke and a collar do bow the neck.
We're talking about the servant relinquishing his power from the liberty.
Okay. Salaki, Shapat, hit that light right there on this pillar, if you don't mind. Right? A yoke and a, what is it?
Salaki, it says a yoke and a collar do bow the neck.
Who is the yoke and the collar for?
For the servant?
No.
It's for the donkey.
It's for the donkey. The comparison is this donkey who's working for you and the servant is trying to show you how the same way you would treat an animal. You're not going to abuse an animal, which lets you know this is talking about Israel. We have laws against abusing an animal, but you're going to correct it. The same way you're going to treat this servant. You feed this animal, he had to eat. You work this animal, he had to work. You rest the animal, he had to rest. It's the same thing. So now you have a donkey or a horse or something that is very, liberated, free and frolicky and jumping everywhere and doing whatever the hell they want. What do? Put a bridle on him and strap, it's called reins, and you wheel him in. Right? In the same manner. Read the second part.
So are tortures and torments for an evil servant.
So are tortures and torments for an evil servant. This is not talking about the oppressor and slavery because it says this is an evil servant. Why is this tortures and torments?
Because he doesn't want to do it.
You answer it. Because that?
Like what Jesus precept, fools despise correction.
You got to break it down. That's true. You got to break it down, though.
The work, because they're trying to be liberated, you putting a bridle on them, bringing them under subjection.
It feels like
it's evil.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. A wicked ass motherfucker, evil, just some, okay. I understand when they say wicked and evil. Wicked and evil in this context is what? Barack.
Not doing what you're told to do.
What would make him good? No, doing what he was told to do. That would make him, damn, this donkey outstanding. I leave him and he plowed the whole goddamn field. Man, this servant here, I went, to Capernaum for 3 weeks to get some spices. I come back, he have everything done, mowed, and the animals fed and fresh fodder, and that would be a good servant. An evil servant is somebody who does not want to do what the master wants done. So when the master is putting the bridle and the yoke on his neck to that servant, it feels like he getting waterboarded in fucking Guantanamo Bay. It feels like torture to yield. So put more on that nigga or niggeress. Slack. Go ahead.
You went right up to go with it, sir. I would say, I mean, this damn near applies to brothers in their ribs to an evil woman that's supposed to serve her man. You giving her correction, it seemed like you beat her.
Brother, she is going to.
It's emotionally abusive.
Let her tell the story, Ark. You come in every day and kick her in the teeth. Exactly. Let her tell the story. Right. Not with you there or nothing. Let her just, why the long face, sis? If you only knew. And brother, by the end of the whole story, Ark, it's getting ready to be Helen of Troy, the way you is the villain. You understand? Like that's really what it is. It feels like torture to the person who does not want to yield. The person who wants to be free, so the master has to do the work and get no rest. But the master still has to feed the person. No, that can't work. That definitely cannot work. So this is what this is how you build a society. This right here, because it starts, you can use this in the home. And this servant here, this is a servant like somebody who you may have land, a ton of cattle. You alone can't work your land and your cattle. There's people around who do not have land and cattle, and they could come and work on this farm, and they could get paid and get choice cuts from the cattle that we're going to sell to the nation. You get the point? This is like an employee. Or this is like somebody who got taken to council or court, and the judge in the matter says, you are now indebted to this guy because you stole his cow, and you have to work 7 years to pay it off. I might need some hands from my land, so I might go to the guy who you have to work 7 years for and pay him the value of that bull. Now you owe me. Now you work on my land. You get the point? So that's why I say this is a servant you bought. You could do in Israel, that could happen. You get the point? Keep going. You understand up to there? Let's go.
Verse 27. Send him to labor, that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil.
You understand? Idleness teacheth much evil. And in this case, evil is rebelling or bucking or liberty. You just want to do whatever. You get the point? Boss, if we mow this way, we'll finish faster. Nigga, just go that way. Go ahead. Please. Disobedience. Okay, but you had to really describe it so Israel gets it. Israel gets what I'm talking about here. Because for the life, that's just how we are as a people. You get the point? But it's not just straight disobedience, a different type of, this is something else.
Kind of like insubordination with your kids.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a stubborn disobedience. That's why it's being compared to what? A donkey who is just, brother, you could kick a damn donkey. He just gonna turn around and look at you like, you done, nigga? And just go back right here with that little dumb look on his face and just, he ain't moving. It don't matter what you do. That nigga is not moving. He don't care. He don't care. He don't give a damn. You get the point? That's it. And you have to break him. You got to break this donkey to start to work. It's the same thing with Israel. You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 28. Set him to work as is fit for him.
Set him to work as is fit for him. What does that mean? 1 second, I'm coming to you.
Like a job that you can do?
Nope. God damn. No. Come on.
Yeah, you will know what he's capable of. So you give him.
No.
Get him the work that he deserves.
You ain't saying it right now.
Give him more.
Yeah. I got you. You ever hear older people say you have a job and I'm gonna do it for you? Yeah, you have a work that you need done. I'm gonna get it done. Meaning this.
Yeah, to slow that down. It's a lot.
Okay.
He said you have a work that
You have a work that needs doing, and I'm going to do it. That's old person talking like that, brother. They're plotting on you, brother. They're plotting to break your ass. Meaning this. The rebellion you come in with, the stubborn disobedience or the insubordination, as you say, it's a job that you need worked on, like exercising demons. And now, because we have to exercise these demons, I'm going to make sure and work this demon out of you. I'm going to work this demon out of you. So I'm going to get you a job that's tailor-made for all that insubordination you're giving me. When you done, you listen, you're gonna be good and right. Yes, sir, mass and bossum. You're gonna be good. And this job is fit for you, it's not fit for anybody else, because everybody else does what the hell they're told to do. But not you, though. You special. You the chosen one. You Neo, right? Ain't no sweat, nigga. Ain't no sweat, man. You the chosen one. I'm gonna give you some chosen shit to do. Don't sweat it. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm gonna help you out, man. My pops used to say, you have a job to do it now, and I'm gonna do it for you. I'm just like, I had a job. What the fuck you doing it? Yeah, I understood it. Quick though. Go ahead.
Like, yeah, Dad, I'm bored. I said, oh, you bored? I got some work.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
So go ahead. Come on with it.
My first Passover, I came to the Passover early, and I was just seeing for something to do. And one of the brothers pointed me over to Captain Makata and was like, "Hey man, this young brothers just came by and wanted to help out and wanted to do something. But yeah, I got some push-ups for him to do."
Damn. No, listen. It may have been a bad report went about you by accident. So that's it, right? Any more on it? Oh, you good?
I'm good, but I mean I can use the rest of the verse now.
Okay.
If he be not obedient, put on more heavy fetters.
Yes. If he is not obedient, this is something I struggle with. If he's not obedient, I'll be wanting to say, nigga, just fuck it. Excuse me, language. Just give me everything back. Go ahead. Go be free, nigga. Go be free. That's what I'm prone to do. It's not everybody got their work, the job needed to do it, right? If he's not obedient, give him more. Give him more shit to do, and giving him more stuff to do will do what to him or her?
It would take away that idle time.
It'll take away the idle time with something else.
It'll reel them in. Like it'll break them to either it will make them leave, or they will have to now come under full subjection.
Right, exactly. Come on.
Sorry, sir. Could that go with the scripture with the fire and the gold scripture, where a man is worth more than gold? The gold dies, but the man gets stronger.
Okay, I wouldn't go there with it, because you're gonna make some evil ass motherfucker think he gold, and you gotta make him know that he ain't shit. Sometimes that's the kindness. Sometimes the kindness is saying, nigga, you don't piss champagne or fart perfume. That's the kindness. Sometimes you need to hear that shit. You need to hear that you ain't that special. And because you ain't that special, you go and make yourself special. But I wouldn't go and say, this gonna make you like, the fine girl. You golden, you just let it go in the fire. Nigga, you shit. Excuse me, nah, I ain't gonna say it like that. I'll take that back. But you get my point. Sometimes you have to base him, okay, because part of him not or her not following what they're supposed to do is because they think there's something. You understand? That ass somehow think he a fucking thoroughbred act. He think he's the stud of all studs. He think he's one of them big what's them big horse, the draft horse. He think he a big old draft horse and he just standing there. You can't tell him what to do. So you had to put work on him. You had to get him going. You had to correct him with his stick. You got to let him know what's what and do is the same thing. You're gonna have to do that whole thing, and it's the whole process in here. That's why you wear all black when you come in. How does it feel? I could tell it, but how does it feel when you have to wear all black and you come in and you see Shapat with the headpiece, or Barack with the chains, and Bukwash with the shirt when his name and the home and the truth? How you feel and you in all black?
Like you're not able to be liberated. Like it's like it's a punishment.
Yeah, it feel heavy, right? Yeah, good. Either you want this or you don't.
Right.
That's all. So it's how you feel when somebody tell you how to dress and to shut your mouth and sit down. It feels like, what the hell are he talking to? It feels a little bit like, what the hell is this shit? You need that though. That makes you better. But let you tell it. Them niggas in a cult. Them niggas drinking blood. Well, I ain't know what the hell to tell you. Shit. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I'm a cult survivor.
I'm a cult survivor. All right, nigga. Write a book then. Sidney Sheldon. Write a book. Right? Where we at?
20 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Come verse 29. But be not excessive toward any, and without discretion do nothing. If thou have a servant, let him be unto thee as thyself, because thou hast bought him with a price. If thou have a servant, entreat him as a brother, for thou hast need of him, as of thine own soul. If thou entreat him evil, and he run from thee, which way wilt thou go to seek him?
You understand that part, or you need that one run through as well?
We can write it down, man.
Okay, read it again from the first verse, whichever one it is.
That was 29. Be not excessive toward any, and
but
do nothing.
But be not excessive towards any. So it's saying with all this at the same time, don't be excessive, because part of this servant's inability to follow the instruction is what? We already said. Say again.
To get the work done.
His inability to follow the instruction.
Because he didn't have enough work to begin with.
That's true, but you only find out that after the fact.
Okay. He didn't want to do it.
And why?
Because he think he's better than it.
That's part of it, but why does he think like that?
Because of past experiences.
Because there was no punishment for what they did.
That definitely makes him like that. Having no punishment from before would make you into this type of person. Because he's weak. And because he's weak, he could only take this much. This feels like waterboarding arc. So you get excessive. Oh my God, you're killing me. So with all of that, but don't be excessive. Remember, it's still a brother. Remember, it's still a sister. Don't get excessive. Yes, they need some work. They need a whole lot of work. You increase that with time. You sort them out. But nevertheless, don't be excessive now. They're going to run. And now they're running. Now you have all the work to do. You have to go chase them. I've struggled with this because I prefer you run, nigga. I just prefer you just like speeding up and bolt down, you gone. Oh, he gone? Oh, shit. Good. Nigga gone. You know what I mean? I'm like, what you getting work for? I'd beg you to do some goddamn work? I'd beg you. I'd make you do it now. Okay, no problem. Where's the joy? Where's niggas who like working? You all don't like it? Goddamn. Shit. All right. Nigga Clay is true. He's like, no, but that's what it's saying here. Is you're gonna have to build the servant. You have to build him up. And he's just being simple. She's just being simple. and they need more work, they need more labor. And the work they're gonna do, I'm gonna tell you the best thing. The work they're doing ain't even making sense to them. It's like they're gonna do it and be like, why the hell am I doing this? Because you're a dummy. That's why. Now go do dummy shit, dummy. And when you're tired of being a dummy, I'll tell you. But for now, go do dummy shit. Good? You want some more work, dummy? That's it. That's how life is. That's just how life is. That's how you get built. And as you wisen up, you start getting less work. Or you become, some sort of new hybrid creation that you get work for the right reason. This is the wrong reason to get work because you're an idiot. That's the wrong reason. You know what this is? Y'all ever play sports? And the coach is explaining the strategy. You can't get it. For some reason, you think you should bounce the ball right and pass left or run this route or do some shit. You can't get it. What does the coach do?
Pull you aside and now make you run it over and over.
No, well, okay, I'm talking about past running it over and over. There's something else he do. Something else. Yeah. If you ain't smart, you're gonna be strong. But you can't be dumb and weak. Either you could be physically weak, but you brilliant up here, so we're gonna play the team around you. Or you could be dumb as rocks, but this nigga strong. You gonna go do, or you can't give me 100, and somebody else gonna count, or he'll do this shit to you. Give me 100, count it out loud, and he walked the hell off, so he know you're doing it, because you are a dummy. So do 100 push-ups while I explain the strategy here to those who want to listen. Are you done? I only heard 45, and I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear the 46, 47. You sure you done? Yes, coach. Okay, you ready to come back in? Yeah. So, coach, what I was saying was, you do your mile? Go run a mile. You don't need to be in this huddle. Just go work out. Go get strong. We're gonna need you to lift something. The bus, maybe. Jack might break down on the away game. We might need you to lift something. But you can't perform here on this situation right here. You and the donkey lift the bus. How about that? Both of y'all could do that shit real good. You get the point? That's it? Okay. Say again?
Question online.
Please.
There's a question from Sister Online, UPK Princess Shakaya. Can I get a few scriptures for my kids on why we don't celebrate Halloween?
Because I take this class here from you for one quick second.
So like, let's go to Jeremiah 10. You can pull Jeremiah 10. First, so like for the sister that asked the question, you will now, okay, now there's two ways you can handle this. It's the old school way, you understand, and there's the new school way. Many of us who grew up with older parents, when you asked them why you should not do something, what was the response? Because I told you so. And really, that's the spirit we got to have when we read about what the Lord told us to do in this Bible. Like a lot of times I see brothers trying to break down when you tell brothers you can't eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. And you see a brother, he arguing with some broad on a date on why she shouldn't eat shrimp. She shouldn't order shrimp. Well, because it's the roaches of the sea, and the shrimp stomach don't process it, and it's because God said so. Really, that's all you should need to explain to them, and they shouldn't do it. But then you have some where you might feel like, okay, no, let me break it down. So first, let's go to Jeremiah 10. Was it verse 1? Whoever God can go ahead and read.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you.
That's right.
O house of Israel.
Now, once again, this Bible is talking to one set of people, the nation of Israel. You understand? And what you'll realize is a lot of the customs that we partake in, a lot of the holidays that we partake in America come from a people who the Lord didn't give these laws to. The Lord didn't give these records to everybody. Christ didn't die for everybody. Christ died for the children of Israel. Moses didn't save everybody. Moses saved the children of Israel. This law was given to the children of Israel. So when you see everybody all around participating and doing the what society does, that's why Christ said, "Be ye in the world, but not of the world," because everybody wasn't given these laws. The children of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were given this law. Keep reading.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not what?
The way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathen. Halloween is a way of the heathen. You understand? Anybody know the history of Halloween? What was it called before?
I don't know what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
I just know the history of it.
Break it down briefly.
Well, basically, Halloween, people thought that at this point in time, the dead were allowed to roam free. The spirits were allowed to roam free, and that there was an evil spirit named Samhain, and you would basically put a jack-o'-lantern on your house or something like that, so you could guide your loved ones that were dead back to your house away from Samhain, so he couldn't bring them to the underworld. And you would wear Halloween costumes. It used to be just monsters. Now everybody fairies and doing all the crazy bunnies.
Now, why is it that they wore the monsters' costumes?
So that,
according to their beliefs,
so that the dead or Samhain couldn't grab them.
Right.
The living.
Right. That's what it's Sam Hain. If you type it in online, it's spelled like Sam Hain, but it's pronounced Samhain or Samain. It comes from the Celtics. You pronounce Celtics. You understand? They're the same ones who believe in fairies and druids. Pretty much, they're the same ones as the Vikings who believe in Odin and Thor and all those mystic religions. And to be honest, they're the same people as the people who call themselves Jewish today. You understand? They come from Scandinavia, Russia, Poland, Germany, that whole area, Ukraine. You understand? Those are the same people. And they were called the Celtics before. And they had a holiday called Samhain where they believe that their dead spirits at this certain time around the harvest equinox. Somebody type in the fall equinox, Baba Gashar. Look up the fall equinox. They believe around this whole time they would give blessings to the gods of the harvest, because you got to remember, because these heathens weren't given the law, they worshipped what? What did they worship?
Nature and like the stars.
Right. That's a better answer. Everything. You understand? But in particular, the things that helped them live, which was food. You understand? That's why the Egyptians, they had a god called Dag, which was a fish, because those fish helped them stinking Egyptians from starving. They worshiped the Nile River because the Nile River is what fed the crops, so the crops can grow so they can eat. You understand? The Arabs worship the stars and the moon because that's what led them through the night to get to safety and get to be able to eat. These heathens are very primitive. You understand? Their religions are primitive. Their ideals and culture is primitive. And so that's why their beliefs, their holidays are the worship of primitive things. You understand? Halloween is no different. You understand? During this fall equinox, during this whole time period when the crops were being harvested, they would now do these different pagan rituals in order to have better, for the gods to have favor on them for the next planting season. And so what they would do is they believed during this time as well that the spirits would come up from the dead. And in order to scare these spirits off, you had to dress up like monsters, you understand, and dress up like all types of scary things to scare off the spirits that were roaming. Who got the fall equinox? Also, too. Let's read it. Who got Jeremiah 10 and 2? Read it again.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
What does that mean? Be not dismayed by the signs of heaven. What does that mean? Go ahead, Shapai.
Don't be worshiping, the stars and the sun and the moon.
That's right. Many of you sisters are into the horoscope. It's I thought it died out after the 90s when the whole what's your name, what's your sign? That's corny, you understand? And it's trash, and it's the heathens culture. But you've now seen a rise back into the whole astrology thing where sisters are into the astrology. I was on TikTok last night, and I go on TikTok and go to the live section just to watch what everybody's talking about on live. And I'll tune in to everybody broadcast for about 1 minute. And I'll say about 6 out of the 10 broadcasts was astrology, crystals, astrology, psychic readings, tarot cards, because this is what everybody's into, because it's what's popular and it's primitive. You understand? It makes sense to a people who aren't spiritual. And that's the irony in it. The people that claim to be spiritual, and you got rocks and crystals and sage, those are the people who are the least spiritual. They're very primitive and carnal. That's why they need now tokens. Give me in the scriptures, a wicked and perverse generation. Give me the scripture that says wicked and perverse generation. You understand? Now, who got the fall equinox?
I got autumn equinox.
The autumnal equinox. Go ahead, Bakwash.
Encyclopedia Britannica, autumnal equinox. 2 moments in the year when the sun is exactly above the equator, and day and night are equal length. Also, either the 2 points in the sky where the elliptical, the sun's annual pathway, and the celestial equator intersect. In the northern hemisphere, the autumnal equinox falls about September 22nd or 23rd as the sun crosses the celestial equator going south.
Right.
In the southern hemisphere, the equinox occurs on March 20th or 21st when the sun moves north across the celestial equator.
Right. So this equinox now, the time period of it today would be around September 21st, 22nd. That's the beginning of the season fall. Of course, because we don't go off the calendar that they went off before, it will be around the time of Halloween now. You understand? October 31st. And this comes from, they have this Samhain, you understand, or Samhain festival because of them learning the ways of the heathen and being dismayed at the signs of the heaven. You understand? The equinox, the celestial cosmos, and all that trash. You understand? Give me Proverbs 3 and 31, and then whoever was holding wicked and perverse generation.
Come. Matthew chapter 16, verse 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign.
Read it again.
A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign.
A wicked and adulterous. What does it mean when it calls this generation adulterous? Forgot, boy.
The Israelites praising other gods.
We'll break it down for somebody that, why would they compare it to adultery? I thought adultery was sex outside your marriage for a woman or a brother that sleeps with another brother's woman. I thought that was adultery.
The Most High God is the God of Israel, Israel only.
Right.
And we are his children. And if we praise another God, that's us disrespecting our Father.
Right. But you should go, you're right, but you want to go into the analogy. You understand? You can go into the scripture that, go ahead, Bakwash.
He compares us, Most High compares us as he we're the bride and he's the groom.
Yes.
And if we're worshiping anything outside of what he gave us, we're committing adultery.
Right. We can use the scripture. It says, thou hast played the harlot. You understand? The Lord has always referred to us in many different times as his bride, as a people, as a nation. And when you go now and celebrate Halloween, when you go and celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving, and you think you're doing it for God, for Jesus, really you're committing adultery against the Most High. You understand? You're committing a heinous sin against the Lord. It's as if you are stepping outside of your marriage. You understand? Because you're breaking the covenant the Lord gave the children of Israel. You understand? Go ahead, Shapat.
You had a precept that we used earlier.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 6. Be in peace. That's the wrong one.
Grab up. You could clean the water above the shore. The water priest. Was somebody else holding something else? No sweat.
Proverbs chapter 3 and 31.
I'm gonna come right back to you, Shapat.
Proverbs chapter 3 and 31. Envy not thou the oppressor.
Envy thou not the oppressor. For this sister that asks, what should you tell your children? What you really have to understand is, I'm going through it right now. You understand? I have a school age child, and really, children only want to celebrate Halloween for what reason?
Because other children are doing it.
That's it. If you understand that the same reason why most sisters, you want to dress like a whore because another sister's doing it. That's why. And if nobody else was dressing like that, you wouldn't go outside the house like that. But you are weak like a child. You're under peer pressure. Most brothers get high because other brothers get high. The proof of that is you take a brother that smokes weed and you put him in an environment where nobody smokes weed. You think he's gonna smoke? No, he's gonna wait till he leaves that environment to smoke, where he's by himself or he's around people that smoke. we do the things that we do, even as a people, because we envy our oppressors. We envy these heathen. You understand? We are a people that have been taught to be weak. And we see what everybody else doing. It looks glamorous. You understand? Looks like the right, good thing American thing to do, to vote. Many of y'all seen that ad. No voting, no vucking. Anybody seen that ad they put? Y'all gotta stay up on current events. It's real popular. It's called No Vuck. It's a advertisement. They got the homosexual in there. They got what's the name? Saweetie, all type of rappers that are hot right now. And it's a campaign to get black people to vote. And the whole slogan is no voting, no vucking, meaning they teaching black women to withhold sex from you if you don't go now and be a good American and vote. You understand? Now, when you look at the ad, if you have spiritual eyes, you're like, I'm definitely not voting now.
Like go ahead. You say no voting, no vucking, you're replacing it. No,
that's what it's literally called. They replaced it to make it sound cool. Vote, vuck, you understand? But that's, it's garbage. That's what I'm saying. But if you're looking at it and you see the advertisement, you understand, and if you got a little bit of sense, you'll be like, I'm definitely not voting now. Like, this is how you appease to me, I'm definitely not doing it. You understand? Like, you think you with a woman withholding sex now is like, if you don't vote, we ain't doing nothing tonight. What? You understand? But that's how they look at us as a people that are weak. They look at you, black man, as a man that without you do whatever for sex. You understand? You'll sell your brother out for sex. You'll lie your mama for sex. You'll go and sleep with a transsexual just to have sex. You'll do whatever to have sex. And that's how they look at us. And that campaign is proof of it. And we fall for it every time because we envy our oppressor. You want to be American, so you go vote. And you want to be like the oppressor, so you worship him. You worship, he not over here. Don't sweat. Man, it's just a lie. I got to do it every class to show y'all who this criminal is. You understand? This is mugshot. You want to be a better American and a better person. You understand? And so you fall into the peer pressure now to worship him. You envy the oppressor and what he has. Kanye West said it out of his own mouth. He envied Jewish people. He envies them. Now, there's a certain envy you should have. You should look at how the Jewish man doesn't abort his babies, like Kanye said. You understand? He envies how they don't abort half their babies. He envies how they do business with each other. That's an envy that you should have, because that's wanting better for your people. Do your thing, priest. But to now want to do the things that they do that the Lord told us not to do, that's what the Lord told us don't do. Go ahead, priest.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 33.
You got water bottle? We all out? Yeah, you go. You'll grab his 12 if you could, Bob. Sure. Go ahead, priest.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 33, verse 21. For better is it that thy children should seek to thee than thou shouldst stand to their courtesy.
Right. We just read this earlier. And many of you brothers are in a family right now. Your kids disrespectful. The woman that you married to, your baby mother is absolutely disrespectful. And you think because the Christian church taught you to be so goddamn effeminate and weak that you being a good father and husband, suffering this abuse. Compromising now, allowing the kids to celebrate birthdays. You understand? You know you don't want your daughter dressing up like some Playboy bunny. You understand? She's 10 years old and your baby mother or your woman letting your daughter dress up like a Playboy bunny, and you looking at it and your heart is just heavy because you like this. I do not want my daughter to do this. But you stand to their courtesy. You stand to that whore's courtesy. You stand to them big bad kids, man. You understand? I can't even say I want big-headed kids. You understand? Like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't compromise. Right. And as parents, it's our job to instill the law, statutes, and commandments into our children. When we came up, did you have a choice whether or not you went to church? Raise your hand if you went to church in here coming up. Did you have a choice whether or not you went to church? Did you have a choice whether or not you went to church?
Super loud.
Right. You understand? You had a choice. None of us had a choice. It's just something that we had to do. And what did they tell us the moment you wanted to stop going to church? So y'all wasn't brave like me. Y'all did the right thing. I was a point in time. I was like, I don't want to go to church no more. Do we have to keep going to church? And I was told, well, when you get older and you get your own SHIT, you make your own decisions. But why you in here? You'll do what I say. And that's how you have to carry it. You understand? And the beautiful thing about it is, the sad part about it is that we have the truth. and you scared to enforce the truth on your children. But them Christians got more courage to enforce the lies on you, on the way they did us coming up. You have to be bold in this truth and just tell your kids right from wrong. And really, it will help if you don't just talk it, if you're living it. Kids are going to do what they see you do. You understand? That's the problem that we have in the Black community. We grew up in communities where our mothers and fathers told us, don't smoke. You understand? You better not smoke. Why they hitting the blunt? You better not ever hit this. You understand? I better not ever catch your little black eye running around here touching no weed and they hitting the J. You understand? Or you got some mother, you better not ever leave the house dressed like some fast wench. And look how she dressed, shoot her thumb. You understand? Look how she dressed going out to the club every Friday and Saturday. You understand? We grew up with parents that were hypocrites and that were weak. And naturally, we did what we seen them do. We didn't go by what they said. We went off what they did. So the best teacher that we can have being in this truth, and you want your children to do the right thing, is you have to not be a hypocrite. You have to be sincere and genuine, because the beautiful thing about children, they see you for what you do. And a child gonna call you out on it. They do it. They're gonna say, "What? I thought you told me, but Daddy, you just lied. You're not sleeping. They'll call you out on the things that you're doing that's wrong." And it's like they see it. In a sense, so you can't be a hypocrite. You want your children to do the right thing, and you have to be that example, not with your words, but with your actions. You understand? For the sister that asks, what should you tell your children? You should just tell them, you understand, that it's not our culture to do it. Depending on how old they are, how they can grasp it. I just tell my daughter, listen, we don't do that. You understand? We don't celebrate it. It's not what we do. You understand? But if you want candy, we can get candy whenever you want. You understand? You don't deprive the children of the candy. You understand? I got counsel on this before. They eating candy at school. Let the children eat the candy. You understand? They eating candy and all that. Let the children eat the candy. But when they come home, you explain to them, yeah, the candy. There's nothing wrong with candy. It's just the holiday is, Halloween is not good. And really, you got to give your children more credit than what we do, because these children are very smart. They're very smart, and they pick up on a lot of things that you may not know they're picking up on. And sometimes they'll say something and it'll blow your mind and let you know just how in tune they are. You understand? Like, damn, I didn't even know you noticed that, or you seen this, or you did that. Kids are very smart. You should not, undermine their ability to process certain things, because they watching your actions and they're going to do what you do. You understand? Did you have anybody else was holding something on that? No sweat. That was the sister question. So like it says, hopefully I answered your question. If not, once Captain Shock come back in, just type it in the chat again if you want him to go more into it. But hopefully that answered your question. You understand? Halloween is not our culture. It's the heathen of the culture of the heathen, the pagans. And from a practical standpoint, it is absolutely idiotic for you to send your children out going to strangers' doors asking for candy from a stranger's house. Like, this is a problem that is coming up more often, because now the drugs aren't packaged like they were back then. Back then, you knew what drugs, well, you weren't supposed to, but back then we knew what drugs looked like because they looked like drugs. You understand? That crack rock didn't look like candy. You understand it? There was no mistake in the crack rock. You seen that? It's like, I don't think I'm gonna eat that. That don't look right. That looked like a rock. You understand? That cocaine looked like powder. That didn't look like candy. You understand? That weed looked like dirt and grass. But now they package the drugs. You understand? That the little Molly look like candies. You understand? Fentanyl and the little candies, the weed cookies, weed. They got weed everything. They got weed Capri Suns. I said, what is this? Oh yeah, it's a weed infused Capri Sun. What? You understand? They have everything is packaged now where you can be deceived if you're not wise. You understand? Go ahead, Shapat.
It's a lot here. Confession is free, but the edibles are stronger than smoking.
I wouldn't know. My new man wouldn't know, priest. Somebody said they was. My new man wouldn't know, but that's what I heard. You understand? And there's a lot of children now being hospitalized, and many of them are dying from these overdoses from eating candy and snacks that they don't know are drugs. So it's very not wise. It's very unpractical to send your children out now taking goodies from random people. I mean, haven't we heard of Jeffrey Dahmer? Have we heard of Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy? You understand? Like, you sending your children out to the wolves. Give me that in the scriptures. You understand? Pass them through the fire. Give me 2 Kings 17 and 17, Baba Bashar. And then somebody get Leviticus 18 and 21. If you have any other questions, just go ahead and type them in the chat. I'll try to answer them for you until Captain Sean gets back. You understand? If you haven't done so already, go ahead and like and share the stream. Y'all see how hard the Jewish man is trying to cancel the truth. You understand? They damn near didn't even want to let the class stream yesterday. You understand? You ain't that right, but they tried to shut it down. This is more reason why we have to be just as aggressive in pushing the truth. You understand? I got a whole list of more companies that's canceling Kanye. You understand? And don't be, what Kanye said was right, but don't unjustly put a title on Kanye that he doesn't deserve. You understand? To call Kanye a revolutionary is doing a disservice to Kanye. You understand? Because Kanye learned what he said from the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Any celebrity that comes out and says the Jews are black, that is a direct byproduct of the brothers in here in the I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General Yahanna hitting those street corners, teaching these classes. You understand? That's a direct byproduct of it. You understand? So what Kanye said is absolutely true, and not to take away from his courage in saying it, and with the status that he has. But don't give him the reverence now that the brothers in here should have. You understand? Don't do that to him, and don't do it to the brothers in here. You understand? Because Kanye is not under the protection of the Lord. You understand? And if you love Kanye, you might want to tell him to come in here and come get protection, because he has a target on his back now. And the proof of that is all the companies that's dropping him, because clearly what he said must have some credence to it. You understand? Let's get the scriptures. What you got?
2 Kings 17, verse 17. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire.
And they read up one verse.
Come. 2 Kings 17, verse 16. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God.
They did what?
Left all the commandments of the Lord their God.
We left all the commandments of the Lord our God. This is a recurring pattern for the children of Israel. The Bible says we are a stiff-necked people. We're hard-headed. You tell them to turn this way, and the neck is stiff. You understand? You ever watched, if you had sisters or girl cousins coming up, or if you have a sister, you understand, and your mom doing your hair, and she trying to get you to put your hair a certain way, and you it's hurting, and you trying to put it back, and she got to, you understand, to pop you with the comb. That's like Israel. We stiff-necked, and we don't want to put our head where the Lord wants us to look, where he wanted to go. You understand? So all throughout our history in these scriptures, we abandoned these laws, statutes, and commandments because we thought it was better to now do what the heathens do, to envy the oppressors. You understand? We thought it was better. It looks so fun to celebrate Halloween. And if you're a grown adult, you're a goddamn child. You're a child. If you dressing up for Halloween as a goddamn adult, you are in my mind, you're a child molester. Like, something is off with you. You understand? Something is not right. You're not matured yet. You understand? Especially if you're a grown man. I'm going to say something right now. If you Black, Hispanic, or Native American, and you are a man over the age of 14, and you dressing in a costume, brother, you need a testosterone check. You understand? You need to go to the doctor and get your T cells counted. You understand? Because there's nothing masculine. There's nothing adult. There's nothing, y'all loved Kevin Samuels. There is nothing red pill about you dressing up in a costume. You understand? Go ahead, Shapak.
Even when I was in the world as a youngin',
right?
You had an age when you stopped putting on a costume.
Exactly.
And I graduated with badge now. You know what I mean? But I wasn't wearing a costume.
Yeah. Even as young brothers in the world, like you said, if you weren't effeminate or raised in the effeminate environment, brothers knew, like, nigga, why you wearing that? It's like, why you got that on? What are you doing? Like, that's what kids do. Shows you how perverse this society is. You understand? Like, the same people that dress up And costumes for Halloween are really the same people that say, I identify as this. I identify as that. They're not right in the mind. You understand? The whole concept of it is very mentally disturbing. You understand? Keep read what you got again.
And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God and made them molten images.
He made us molten images. One of the most famous images right now in this time period is this. You understand? This nigga right here. This is the image that we said last night. Brothers was getting this on chains. You was spending hundreds of dollars to get an iced out picture of this nigga face, wearing this nigga on your neck and thought it was fly. Or you was getting tattoos. Many brothers got tattoos of this nigga face on their body. You understand? Like, really think about how off that is. If that's not worshiping another God, I don't know what is. You got a tattoo of another man's face on your body? Listen, if you in the world and you got a tattoo of white Jesus on your face, you didn't know better. You understand? But listen, good night. Go ahead.
I almost didn't share. I never did get a tattoo or nothing, but I did have a belt buckle.
Yeah.
Which is even gay.
You said it, brother. I didn't say it. You said it. Thank the Lord for bringing them in the air, man. You understand? And you know what? If we was in the world, we probably all thought that was fly. We'd have seen that. You got that white Jesus iced out on your belt buckle, nigga. That's fly. Where'd you get that from? Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, listen, I know in the world, but then you come in here, you like, why is that white man on your articles of clothing? Go ahead, Barack. He said, who?
I was about to say, hold the applause. I ain't got his face. I got his damn hands.
Listen, at least you can lie and say it's Yahawa's hands. And listen, you can lie and say, you can say, no, these my hands. I tattooed my own hands on me. Nigga, you can't run from this though. You know what I'm saying? Some brother got this right here. You understand? This right here. And it's too wild. You didn't know no better. You understand? We all did things that were shameful, and if we put a spotlight to it, you wouldn't want nobody else to know about. So if you did get a tattoo of it, or you did rock the iced out pieces or whatever, you didn't know any better. You understand? And you should have known better, because the Christian pastors are in the place to teach us about God's laws, but they didn't teach us. You understand? So really, you should blame them. The failure is on the Christian pastors and religious leaders, because we should have known tattoos were against our culture, are against God. We should have known that this is an idol. You understand? But they didn't teach us that. And just like in what we do now, we made molten images. You understand? You read about how the Lord brought us out of Egypt, and Moses went to go get the damn laws. And now while he up in the mountain getting the laws, them niggas made a golden calf. They took all the jewelry. They said, you know what? We gotta do something. They took the earring. Give me your earrings. Take that nose ring out. They took all the good things that we brought out of Egypt, melted it down, and made a big old golden calf, a bull, so they can worship it. That's who we are. We just watched the Lord use Moses to split the goddamn Red Sea. We just watched the Lord kill the firstborn of every stinking Egyptian African. And then we turn right back around and say, this is not cutting it. We need the crystals. We need the sage. You understand? We need the horoscope. We need the images. Go ahead, Shapak.
Wasn't the calf or the bull, wasn't that an Egyptian god? They worship the cow.
Yes, and still to this day, okay, the people, and this is how you know the real Egyptians are the same people that do this today. The real Egyptians are not those people that's in the land now. They are the South Sudanese, and that's why they worship cows. They let a cow pee all on their head because that's who they worship. And that's what we did when we came out of Egypt, made that molten image. You understand? It's like, so the sister asked about precepts to not celebrate Halloween. And we wanted to pass the children through the fire.
Okay.
We'll never get that one right now, sir.
Okay. All right. Let's go with it.
Come. 2 Kings 17, verse 16. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves.
Users in here?
No.
Okay.
And made a grove, and worship all the hosts of heaven, and serve Baal.
Where we at?
2 Kings
17, 16 through 17.
Second Kings 17. Okay. 17 and what?
16, sir.
Okay. Yeah, please. You can read from wherever you were.
Come. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshiped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger.
All right, you could definitely use this. You broke this down already, or
No, not yet, sir.
okay? What was the question? What precepts to give?
To give to the kids about Halloween, or why they not celebrate Halloween. I would read it verbatim.
How old is these kids?
We got this. It's Princess Ash.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer to that question. As far as about how old, but just verbatim as far as what she said. Can I get a few scriptures for my kids on why we don't celebrate Halloween? UPK Princess Shakaya.
Okay, how old is these kids, sis? That's where you want to go first. These is for sure good precepts, but if these kids is kids and not the Little Mermaid kid like that I watched an interview with that girl. She said, now they're like 23 or something, right? The girl who played the Little Mermaid. Yeah. This broad got up on TV and said with her sister, we just like to be kids and hang out with kids our age. And I'm like, bitch, you're a full-grown woman. What are we talking about kids?
Right.
But that's the mentality.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she to herself, she's a kid. That's why she's doing so much silly ass shit. Right. You know what I mean? So I want to know how old is these kids we talking about here? Right, because it's different. If we're talking about kids like that, like a grown-ass adult in your house, then they grown. Let them do what the hell they want. Right? If you don't want them to celebrate Halloween, let them go rent somewhere else. But if these is kids, people who you have to buy clothes for and shoes for, and go to a parent-teacher meeting, the precepts to not celebrate Halloween is the same precepts as don't do drugs in the house. It's the same precepts as Christmas. It's the same precepts as don't bring white girls home or don't bring white boys home. It's the same precept. While you're under my house, do my rules. That's it. They don't need to understand Baal and all of that shit. They need to understand Baalt. That's what they need. They need Baalt. Yeah, I mean, they need Beelzebub. That's what they need. They need Beelzebub. You get the point? So once the sister answer back with the questions, what we could put the obedience. Give me some obedience. Give me some obedience. Train up a child in the way they should go. Really, the precepts is for you. The precepts is not for the children. The children is the belt. Right? The children, give me spare the rod and spoil the child. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Yeah, let me get that first. Right, Proverbs.
13 24, Proverbs 13 24. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
Where you at again? Proverbs
13 24, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
Right. That's what you need for you and for the child. Depends on the age of this child that we're talking about. Right? Did she ever write back how old the children are? I would assume that these kids are young, very young. And because they're very young, you have a whole ton of time to still bend the tree. There's another saying, bend the tree while it is young, while it's still soft. And once it grow and done harden up, you can't bend that tree no more. You get the point? Like, that's what you really need. That, like, those children need to obey you. How you stop them from, how you explain to them don't celebrate Halloween? Well, how do you explain to them don't bring home somebody else's toys from school? How do they know? What do they know? How do they know not to, shoplift when you take them to the mall?
Right.
Because you bust their ass. The same way. You treat Halloween like cocaine,
right,
and you'll be fine. Treat Christmas like fentanyl, and you'll be fine.
Right.
If you want to sit down there and explain Baal to them, Reese's Pieces, brother, is working witchcraft on your children. Good.
Not to use like the devil as an example, but that movie, what was it? Water Boy. Everything he said was Mama said. He thought Mama said she created money. She created.
That's it. Mama said this. Mama said that.
She made light and all that.
That's it. That's it. Don't bring Halloween here as the devil, and I'll show you who the devil is with this belt. Like, that's really what it is. Really, that's the best way. That's the best way it should be. Right now, of course, it depends on how young your kids are and what age they get introduced to the truth. But sometimes if they didn't grow up in the truth, it's harder for them to grasp and hold on to you telling them don't do this or don't do that. Sometimes it's harder. So now you might have to do some reinforcing. You get the point? And the reinforcing comes with the belt. The reinforcing comes with tossing certain shit outside the house, throwing it away, making them throw it away so they could get detached from the whole feeling of candy and celebration and all that dumb shit. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's where I would go with it. If they're young, just like how you stop them from stealing, it's the same way you stop them from celebrating Halloween. We just don't do it no more. Kids will do whatever you do. So you stop, they're gonna stop. Right? You stop, they're gonna stop. That's about it. Good to go? I think we're good to go, right? Right up on the time. Say again?
No more questions.
Right up on the time. So with that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shapat. You don't forget, Houston is this weekend. You'll make it down there. They have a whole packed, event list. Friday, I think, is the camp in San Antonio. Saturday, and of course, San Antonio nightlife. Friday night, Saturday is some homecoming something.
Yeah, one of the big colleges down here got a homecoming.
Yeah, I don't know who though. Who?
Prairie View.
Nah, I think it's a big time college. Yeah, some homecoming. They say they're gonna take everybody to, and of course Sunday is the cookout. You know what I mean? If you could make it down there, make it down there. You know what I mean? Handle it up. Next, no, I'll leave that up to you. Go ahead, brother.
Come. I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. It's like they're to be saluted only. They're here to shade themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give it to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, Feast of the Dedication, Hanukkah, 25th day of the 9th month, by the space of 8 days. Saturday, the 17th of December, 2022. You can find this in the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52 through 61. So that's it for the announcement, sir. Okay, come on. Remind Akim and Akwadi to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, and scarf. And with that, I say Imagine, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Martin Shabbat, Michael, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam.
Yad Yamatah, Saw, which means a turn. Since you may stand, Imagine. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sister, men of Israel, Martin Shabbat, Michael, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Alatam Hashem Yahushua.
Yad Yamatah, class dismissed.